This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. My name is Tom Alexander, and today I am joined by Anthony Nalli. Anthony is the producer, creator of the show, the RVers, and the RVers makes its debut on the Discovery Channel this Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central Time. Anthony, wow. Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, this is wonderful because I love to talk to producers and creators of shows and content and writers and all kinds of creative people. It's a lot of fun. And man, this is an awesome accomplishment to have your show on the Discovery Channel. Of course, it's also on PBS. And tell folks a little bit about what the RVers is. I mean, obviously there's a lot in the title, but what's the core? What are you going for there?
Well, I think I'll start off by telling you what the RVers isn't. And I know that because it's on Discovery Channel, one of the things that people might naturally assume is that it's some form of a reality show. And I can assure you it is absolutely not that. It is what the name reality should suggest, and that is real life, real adventures, real people, but it's not a reality show. We've got some of the most popular YouTubers in the RV space on the show. I'm very, very pleased to call not only my co-hosts, but my friends, the RV Geeks, Peter and John, Technomadia, Sheree and Chris, and Tom and Kate Morton of Morton's on the Move. Great people, excellent professionals in what they do, and, they're just terrific facilitators of really good, useful information in their channels and now on our TV show as well.
Yeah, and you've got a crew that I saw some footage of you guys behind the scenes putting things together, and you've got your trusty crew there that I'm sure that you've are grateful to have. It's a big deal to put a production together, right?
Yeah, it really is. And, we've got a lot of experience doing this now, doing The Aviators, which is aired on PBS, as well as several other broadcasters around the world for about a decade. We're just about to release our 8th season of The Aviators, and it is the most popular aviation TV show in the world. And aviation is a great interest and personal passion of mine. And I got to say, right up there with that interest is RVing. I mean, I've wanted to RV my entire life. So when we were looking at what to do next after The Aviators, and The Aviators is still carrying on, but I mean, you want to expand, you want to grow, you want to do something else. We've dabbled in the motorcycle space. I'm a motorcyclist as well. But when we initially started with that, it didn't quite latch on the way we needed it to continue, so it's kind of back-burnered. And then the RVers idea came up probably about 13 months ago now, and no sooner I announced it, the response from the RV industry and the RV communities both was nothing short of overwhelming. I mean, it just absolutely bowled us all over. It was quickly apparent that it's something that everyone wants to see, needs to see, has to see. And I'll tell you, the first thing that it did, it got us excited, but it also got us a little bit nervous because it kind of put the pressure on us. We thought we would do this thing a little bit casually and, let's see how it goes, and, kind of experimentation, kind of an experimentation type approach. But then with the amount of interest that we got so quickly and so immediately, we thought, okay, we really don't have time to experiment. We need to do this, but we need to have the right people, convey the right message, do it the right way, put it on the right broadcaster. We we can't stumble out of the gate because too many people are watching us, and I think too many people really want this thing to show the RV lifestyle for what it is, and what it is, as I'm sure I don't have to tell you, it's amazing. It's amazing. The RV lifestyle is joy, peace, health, happiness, all rolled into one, and we want to make sure that all of that comes out in the show loud and clear.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? I guess the question being, were you an RVer first and then got into production, or are you an old hand at content creation and then you got into RVing?
Well, we were doing, as I say, aviators for about a decade, so I'd say that my expertise came in the production space first. But, I mean, we've had shows that we've developed over the years after aviators that have had marginal success and, unfortunately, relatively little success. So, I mean, just because you step up the bat and you know how to swing a bat and know how to recognize a good pitch doesn't mean you're going to, much less hit it out of the park. You'd be lucky to get a single, you know. And we stepped up, and I am a relatively, well, I guess now I'm more of a seasoned RVer, but relatively speaking, I'm relatively new. I mean, I wanted an RV. I'm 53 years old now, and I've wanted an RV my entire life. I mean, I remember a CBS TV show in my when I was like 6 or 7 years old called Arc 2. If you want a trivia thing, look that up. It's a little interesting, little bit of trivia there. But that got me interested in something RV-esque. I wouldn't say it was an RV. It was more like a little science lab on wheels, but it resembled an RV.
Yeah.
And right from that moment, close to 50 years ago, I had an interest in RVing, and it took me until 2015 before I actually got my first RV. And at that time, just the idea of being in an RV for any kind of period of time, I couldn't imagine at that time, once we were actually doing it, why I'd want to return to my house. So the RV was on our house driveway for a couple of weeks, and we decided maybe we don't need the house driveway or the house anymore.
Wow.
So we got rid of it.
Wow.
So we jumped into full timing. But that's not to say that if you're not full timing in an RV, you're doing it wrong. There's no way to do it wrong. But the thinking at the time was we spent so much time away from home filming for the aviators that we didn't really spend a whole lot of time at home anyway. We really saw a lot of airports and hotel rooms all across North America. And now with an RV, we'd be able to actually see the country more and enjoy the country more. But if we're going to spend at least half the time, maybe three-quarters of the time on the road, well, why even have the home base? We would get rid of it, and then we missed having a home. We'd get back into it. And it's been since the beginning of 2015. We haven't really missed it a whole lot since then.
We're speaking with Anthony Nalli. He is the producer-creator of the RVers, and it makes its Discovery Channel debut this coming Sunday. That's November 17th at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Central Time. The first time I was ever in an RV, I was actually on a movie set. I was involved in the production of a comedy out in Los Angeles, and I wasn't sure. I mean, I'd been in campers before and those kinds of things, but a real full-fledged, the bomb kind of RV. and I went on and I was like, man, this thing is nicer than a lot of homes I've been in. It just amazing. And I can see where people can get the bug. Now, I know that people sometimes they like to rough it a little bit, just have, I don't know if it may be a notch above bare necessities, but, they're not looking for the glamping kind of thing, right? That whole, but then there's people that are, they want everything. They want the full deal. Where do you stand? I mean, what, do you kind of like somewhere in the middle, or you like the full range?
Well, my idea is roughing it is when a tree is interfering with my satellite signal and I can't get HBO.
Okay, gotcha. Well, that clears that right up.
If I don't get HBO, I'm roughing it.
Yeah, that's roughing it, huh?
But,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say that we're so much glampers. I'm not really a tenting kind of a camper. I couldn't imagine setting up a tent and lying on the ground, and I like having a bed and a proper kitchen and a nice little living room. As a matter of fact, we're going to be doing a tour of the southern states this winter. I'm also in a band called Wicked Truth, and we're going to be performing at the Escapers Bash and at the Our Village Rally.
Oh, nice.
And
what do you play?
Yeah, and at the same, I'm a drummer.
All right.
God help my parents.
Yeah, very cool. That's great.
But not only are we doing a musical tour, but we're going to be doing a promotional tour of the RVers. So I'll be touring the country with the cast of the show, and we'll be making appearances at those venues and some other places as well, and speaking and just, sharing our adventures, making the show and what's coming up with the show. And all of that travel that we're going to be doing over the winter is not in our 41-foot quasi-luxury fifth wheel, but rather in a 22-foot camper van.
Man, so it's sort of like it's a tour. It's a camping RV music TV show tour. That was not really eloquently put, but I sense essentially that's what you're doing.
No, I think it's perfect. I think you stated it perfectly. I like to multitask, so So we are, and we'll be multitasking from January 3rd to the middle of April, and I'm in Milton, Ontario, just outside of Toronto in Canada right now, and we just had a blizzard yesterday. So I say bring on the tour.
Yeah, man. Let's get out of the snow and head down south for a spell, and play some rock and roll and have some fun. I hear you. What kind of drum kit do you have?
Well, I used to play, traditional drums like most people would know them, acoustic kit. But about 20 years ago, I shifted over to electronic drums because I was doing some work while traveling, and I thought, well, I'd like something to do in the evenings when I get back to the hotel. And if I bring my drum kit, I probably wouldn't be in that hotel for very long.
That's a good point.
I picked up an electronic drum kit, and of course you can hear everything excellently through your headphones, and you're making very little noise outside of that.
Yeah.
So I've got quite an elaborate electronic drum kit that emulates the sounds of all the drummers that I'm playing. So when we play Led Zeppelin, the drums sound like Led Zeppelin. When we're playing Van Halen, the drums sound like Van Halen, and so on and so forth. So it's a very, very elaborate, complex electronic drum kit that in and of itself is quite a spectacle to behold. So we'll be putting on shows, and the drums themselves put on a show, and then we'll be talking about the show by doing talks, which themselves will also be shows.
Wow.
So this whole tour, all winter, is just going to be show after show after show after.
Man, we got to come out and see you and hear you, and maybe we do a podcast from one of those performances. That'd be a blast.
Okay, I'm putting you in my calendar right now.
Awesome. Are you going to be coming to anywhere near our area here in South Florida or anywhere in the state of Florida?
Well, the Our Village Rally is in Live Oak, Florida, I think about 90 minutes west of Jacksonville, so that's not too far off. Well, and then we do have a lot of other performances with the band, not so much RV related, but with the band we're going down to Cape Canaveral, we're going to Orlando, so Central Florida.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how close we're getting to South Florida, but we're getting closer.
That's closer. You know what? Yeah, Orlando or Cape Canaveral's not that far. It's a morning's drive. So, that would be ideal. That'd be a lot of fun. That would be some, let me see if I can put that into the powers that be, and we can actually, get a little budget going for that. That'd be fun. A road trip, a little road trip, and we'll take that road trip in an RV. Right? We have to do that. Got to stay consistent.
Well, you have to.
Absolutely.
You have to. It goes without saying.
This is great. I'm so happy for you that you're living the dream, man. It just sounds like an absolute blast. You're doing a television show, PBS, Discovery Channel. Again, debuts this Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, and it's called The RVers. Don't miss it. And of course, you're also touring with your band, and you got it going on, man. That's all I got to say. And it's just been an absolute blast talking to you. We'd love to have you back on again.
I would love to come back on. And if I can just tell your listeners one last little thing to remind them, if for some reason they're unable to watch the show this Sunday, or even if they are, on Monday, the 18th, the show will be available for a free download digitally, principally on Apple TV or iTunes, depending on what platform you're using, as well as Amazon and Google Play. And the show will be available free for a limited time. And The Aviators, for 7 years running, has launched on iTunes, ranking in the top 5, along with other shows like The Daily Show, Mythbusters, Top Gear, and we would like the RVers to launch very, very similarly with huge success and great fanfare. So even if you watch the show on Sunday, I urge you to download for free the RVers on Monday, ideally from iTunes or Apple TV. It'll be a free download. And even if you're not going to watch it Monday, download it Monday and then watch it whenever you want. The download counts. And the benefit there is because Discovery Channel, of course, is commercial television, we had to cut the episodes so that it accommodates commercials.
Right.
Well, there's going to be some exclusive content in the online version, in the streaming version, that unfortunately was not available for time constrictions to be on Discovery Channel. So you'll actually be watching a little bit of a different show with enhanced content, with exclusive content, and you'll be getting it for free. And when the show hits, I don't want to say a number and jinx myself, but when it hits a very lofty, impressive number, it'll be because of you downloading it, and I thank you in advance for doing that.
Great. So there you go, folks. The director's cut for free. How can you pass up that deal? That is awesome. Anthony, we really do appreciate your time, and we will have you on again for sure.
Terrific. My sincere pleasure. Nice talking to you, Tom. Nice talking to your listeners, and I look forward to doing it again. Anthony
Nalli is the creator and producer of the RVers. This is the RV Advisor podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. So long, everybody.
You've been listening to the RV Advisor Podcast with Tom Alexander. This podcast is produced in association with Studio Alpha and Alexander Productions in Miami. Visit thervadvisor.com for more.